Police on the UT campus are ramping up patrols. A warning, we're about to show you some of the offensive symbols captured on the iconic rock, a center of free speech on campus. The symbols of hate went up Saturday night. Since then, they've been painted over with messages of unity. Many of you asked why campus police aren't doing more to prevent hate speech. 10 News reporter Sean Franklin spoke with officers tonight, and he has more in this 10 Listens report. Sean?
John, UT released a statement saying these messages do not represent its volunteer values. Students quickly painted over the offensive words Saturday, and 2 students I talked to are trying to stay positive in the face of hate.
The Rock is usually a celebration of student speech at UT, but on Saturday night, Leah McCord says she saw a group of people in masks spray painting hateful messages and swastikas across the Rock. She called UT police.
When you're inciting violence, it kind of trips over into another territory.
UT student Mitch Moskowitz is the vice president of the Jewish student group on campus, Hallel. He says the hateful messages actually united people in their stance against hate.
Whether you're a Jew, a Muslim, black, white, gay, straight, trans, it doesn't matter. Be confident in who you are.
Our original story about the Rock reached almost 60,000 people on the WBIR Facebook page. Some commented asking, what is free speech on a college campus? The UT Student Handbook says the university policy follows a state law called the Campus Free Speech Protection Act. It says the campus community may not substantially obstruct or otherwise substantially interfere with the freedom of others to express views they reject or even loathe. So the university can't stop it, but UT Police Chief Troy Lane says UTPD is adding security.
Even at times we'll have visible presence there, but certainly we'll check the area much more often than we have.
Many of you also asked about adding cameras. He says they're a possibility.
We still have to weigh free speech constitutional concerns with safety. When we talk about adding camera, does that inadvertently keep someone else from expressing themselves?
Students quickly painted over the hateful messages on the Rock soon afterward, and Chief Lane says this morning he encouraged his officers to be open to free speech concerns, especially if anyone feels unsafe after a situation like this. We'll send it back to you.
Sean Franklin with the story. Now, if there's something that you would like to know, a question, answer that we can help with, please email us at 10listens@wbir.com, or you can call us at the number on your screen.